Welcome, podcast fans. It's time for the What's Up Bro podcast show, presented by J&J Production Studios, the home for all your entertainment needs. All kinds of great topics discussed every week, a variety of different themes offered, special guest appearances, prize giveaways, and so much more. Stay tuned. And now, here are your hosts, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your weekend. It is Friday night again, which means the beginning of the What's Up Bro podcast show weekend. It is I, Sam Crow, here with Big Hoss. How are you, Big Hoss?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You ready for the weekend?
Yep.
We are set to hang out with you guys. So glad you're joining us. If you're joining us live, thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, as always, the episodes are up. You can listen to them anytime, anywhere, and anyway, pretty much available to you, depending on whatever device you have. We can be heard just about anywhere and everywhere that you'd like. So, but if you're here tonight, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you guys had a great week. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We're looking forward to it. We're hoping that Mr. Fire, I'm not sure if he's going to join us tonight, so it'll just be myself and Hoss. He might jump in later, maybe not. We will have a show tomorrow night for you guys. We're planning to do another episode of the Game Corner, so if you guys missed that from last weekend, you can check that out. We had a lot of fun doing that. I was sharing a little bit with Hoss. As I mentioned, I have to figure out a challenge for these guys. So far, Hoss is not liking my ideas too much there. So I'll put it this much: if you can give me a suggestion for an idea you wouldn't mind, you let me know, and then I'll consider that. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. So we could have a contest too to everybody write in with a challenge they would like. I wonder if that would give any responses there. But there's all kinds of options on the table. We can see how that goes. But that was due to the fact that I won the game from last weekend against Big Hoss and Mr. Fire, so we might do something. Maybe we'll do this. I'll put it to you this way. How about this? If we play a round again tomorrow night, okay, and one of you guys, either you or Fire wins, if that person wins, and as long as it's not me again, I'm willing to nullify that challenge and give you guys nothing there to make it simple. But you have to win, obviously. One of you has to win. So that gives you double the chance. But if I win tomorrow night, then you have to do 2 challenges. Does that sound fair?
No.
What, you're not that confident you could win? You've won before.
That told me I'm going to win this time.
True. Well, you never know. But remember, either you win or Fire wins, so that's 2 against 1. So either one of you has to win. It doesn't have to be you specifically, as long as I don't win again. That's the only really caveat. So we'll play it by ear. We'll run it by Fire if we see him tomorrow night. We'll plan that. But hope you guys will tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys enjoy that, and if you play it at home, let us know. It's great games we're going to play. We're trying to expand and do some more. So definitely something you guys are more than willing to play along with us, but you can play it at home at any time with your family, friends. Some great games you can incorporate there. We're always looking for some fun things to play. So all kinds of great stuff there. So before we jump in, just a couple...
I go get a drink.
Go ahead. I'm going to do a couple quick announcements anyway, so just to give you guys a heads up there. Of course, as always, make sure, if you're listening to this on our YouTube channel, first of all, if you're not a part of our YouTube channel, what's wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding. We'd love to have you guys join there, but again, it's everybody's preference. We're available other places, but a lot of people like to use it. If you're listening to this on YouTube, first of all, if you need to subscribe, if you're not, click the subscribe, and also click the notifications bell so you get a notification when new content is uploaded from any of our podcasts that we offer. If you like the content available, please make sure to give us a like there. We'd absolutely love and appreciate that so much. But also, in the description of the link for the video there will be our link tree. It gives the links to all of our accounts, all of our social medias, and all of the streaming services that feature our podcast, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, just to name a few, some others. Check that out and find your favorite and listen to us. You can also download your favorite episode as well, so you can take it with you, listen to it anywhere. You don't have to use any of your data or anything like that if you're not at home. So that's available for you guys. Hoping to have 2. Not sure if we'll have it up later this month yet, or later this year. Still working on the process for the website, which will be coming out, which will be a great feature we're going to have. I'm going to check back with Olivia in a little bit and see how things are going there. I know she's got a lot of stuff going on, so we're trying to give her a bit of some space there too, because we don't want to overwhelm her. But I do want to check in. It's been a little bit, so hopefully we'll see how that's going. We'll give you guys updates as that comes. Check out Mr. J's show, Ragnarok Radio, and the Sanitarium channel. They have a new episode that came out, I believe it was last weekend, so one of our producers and a great mentor for that too, and we're part of that Ragnarok Radio network, so go check it out. I haven't heard it yet. I'm curious to hear how it went, so if you guys want to listen to it, go for it. Check it out there. Of course, you can find it on Spreaker.com and similar podcast streaming services as well, as we're on the same network kind of thing there through that anyway, so check him out. It's awesome. Always great fun. Hopefully we'll have him back on the show again. We're hoping to get some more guest stars lined up, hopefully later this year. A lot of other things coming up, a lot of fun things we're going to do over the summer. A whole bunch of stuff crazy going to happen, so hope you guys will stay tuned and stick around for more. It's going to be completely awesome there. So, as far as announcements goes, I think that's everything we have. So I'm going to see if we'll get Hoss back here in a second, but I just want to go over everything for you guys. So, if you haven't noticed from the title, kind of play on words with this episode tonight there. So, time travel through our lives. So, one of the things that we have shared multiple times at different points through different episodes over the last almost year already, if you guys can believe it. We need to do something special for that. I mean, we'll be coming up on a year near the end of the summer, coming up this 2023 here. But we've always shared about life experiences. What I want to say specifically want to talk about is, I've thought a lot about this, and maybe if you're like me, you kind of reflect a lot. I hear that's the case to be when you get older. I'm kind of seeming to believe that now because I kind of see that firsthand now that I'm actually kind of going through it. But I just want to share some things maybe we've learned and thought about, and just from the time of being a younger age to as we begin to grow up and become older, become teenagers, and even to now in adulthood, like what are some of those things that we've realized, or what are some of those, to coin a phrase, those life lessons that we learned, or maybe some things that we realize. And I know it's kind of strange and kind of seemed odd, and this is usually something that a lot of times happens when you're a lot older. I know a lot of people who are older, like my grandparents, and just aunts, great aunts and uncles have done this. As you get super older, you look back, and it's kind of sort of like that. But it's just kind of the idea of finding out, where we're at in our walks. And obviously, I'm a little bit older than Hoss is, but Hoss is getting older too. He shared that recently, how it feels to be not as young as he used to be as well. And we joked about that a few weeks ago with Fire, because when he was drinking like crazy, Hoss is like, I don't think I can do that anymore like he can. Of course, obviously, Fire's still really young in his prime, in the early 20s there, so definitely, a lot of different ends of the spectrum from a multitude of experiences, not to mention personalities, because we're all different people too. So those are kind of some of the things we want to share tonight. And of course, if you're following us and want to message us too, your own thoughts and experiences, if you're listening to the show live, please do so. We'd love to hear some things that you guys can share. And matter of fact, I'm going to type a welcome message out. So pardon me for a second here. I want to give this out. Not that it always works, but there we go. Okay. Haven't done that for a while, so I want to get that message out there just to have everybody available, just in case. You guys are welcome to. Of course, if you have any stories, things you want to share, please hit us up at our official studio email, J_J Production Studios at yahoo.com. Of course, we will respond. We are there. You have a snack there. What kind of snack is that?
Hot dogs and cheese.
Okay, yeah, all right. So, here's the thing. I noticed, like, everybody has, kind of a show that has a theme here. Hoss's theme is going to be, he's going to be known for, he's got the greatest snacks, like, during a show. I think that's going to be your thing. I don't think anybody else is going to top that. So, if you guys are faithful listeners, we always joke about this too, but every show we have an opportunity, Big Hoss always breaks out the good stuff. You got the good shit there, like, all the time. We're just kind of sitting here, like, I know I haven't shared it often. I tend to drool a lot when I sit there watching him eat it, because it makes me hungry, especially because this is usually getting around peak time for dinner, so I haven't eaten yet. So Big Hoss is nice enough to sit there and eat right in front of me. And my God, does that look...
Hey, you're going to have pizza, so shut up.
That is true, yeah. Tonight anyway. But I don't have it all the time. That does look good, though. That's like... Is it just cheese and hot dogs? No condiments, no mustard, no ketchup or anything? Wow.
Oh, I forgot. That's what I was doing for it.
I gave him another idea. There we go. Can't forget the... Oh, that's the good stuff. That's the sauce from Chick-fil-A. Man, we got to get some of that stuff. It's hard. I heard it's hard to find though, but that's really awesome. So, well, while Hoss is, well, see, it's some places you can. I don't know if it's just around here or what, but sometimes it's harder. It's not as easy to find. We have a lot of things.
Every time I go to school.
Well, good for you. If you ever find something, you can send it to me. I'm going to send you some stuff, so you can send stuff back to me. Although I don't know if you want to send that kind of... That could probably go bad by the time it gets here. So anyway... Yeah, no, I appreciate the sentiment, though. So, as I mentioned, though, because you were away from the camera, so I wanted... Or away from earshot to this. So, tonight we're going to share... Now, obviously, as I said, we're not super old, but...
And Skittles water flavoring.
Water... Is that like a Mio kind of thing?
It's like a powder.
Oh, okay. Oh, one of the... Okay. Man, like I said, everybody's going to have their own little niche when they do this. Haas's thing is he's going to be king of snacks here when we have this, because we always tell you guys, especially during commercial breaks, to get a snack. Well, if you want to find something, and as you can see, there's no limitation to snacks for Big Haas. So whether that's chips and dip, or even hot dogs and cheese, whatever floats your boat there, that's great. Even, I know there's a couple times I feel like you had a piece of pizza or two in there somewhere while we were doing it, at least for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Big Haas, we're going to call you also the king of snacks, because every time it's show night, he always has snacks.
The night we get the Miranda Lambert, or Miranda the Maverick.
I tell you. See, now, we talked about this last weekend. We'll just share this with you guys, because this is kind of fun. We've been wanting to do this, and I think we're going to try to do something. I'm not sure if this worked this summer, but we're going to do it. So we're going to plan a camping trip where we're going to go out. And I think if we do that, we're going to put Big Haas in charge of getting the snacks, because... Like I said, nothing can compare to the level of snackage that...
I don't think you want me doing grocery shopping.
Well, we can help you. I'm just saying, like, I think you should pick out what you like and just get enough for the class, get enough for all of us to share. So, I think that's a fair enough point to make for that. But I'm just saying, it's a compliment to you, because obviously you pick great stuff. So, that would definitely be a fun thing to do there. But... so we're hoping to do that, because...
The only thing that's missing is the chili.
Yeah, I was going to say, that chili with cheese on there, yeah. You know what, well, you might not like it. I always like chili cheese, refried beans, and relish. So, yeah. I'm one of those, I love sauerkraut in my hot dog.
I'm good with the refried beans, but the relish? No.
You never had relish on a hot dog? It's great, like...
Well, I've had relish on a hot dog, but not with chili.
Yeah, oh yeah, what about sauerkraut?
Sauerkraut's good.
Yeah, see, yeah, like I said, it's kind of like and I put a lot of hot sauce on my dogs too.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do a salute to cooking, or have snack night one night. I think we're gonna do a whole show on that. That's gonna be fun. But as I was sharing with everybody, we want to talk about some of our life experiences, some things that we learned, especially because obviously we still have a ways to go in life, but we've learned quite a bit. I know I have over the last couple decades. So
I've learned that drugs are bad.
Really? How did you learn that message?
Past experience.
Oh, if it's the one I think of, yeah. If you want to share that, that's a perfect way to talk about. So share about, in your life, why did you learn drugs are bad? Share that to help educate somebody. Why is that?
Hanging out with the wrong crowd. Don't ever hang out with the wrong crowd. Never good.
Yeah, it can get you in a lot of trouble. For a lot of reasons, too. Not even just that. Like, and I'll share this, too, because I shared this, and Haas has heard this story, too. And I think I shared this before you guys heard it, but... I even knew for me, like, at a younger age, where I started hanging with the wrong crowd, that had I continued to do so, more than likely I probably would have ended up in jail, or probably would have been dead at this point for a multitude of reasons. But I can concur with that. That's a very huge, and, you know, that's a really a life experience, too, where I know it's harder for you guys if you're a younger listener. You don't always, you know, you're not going to understand this till you get older, and believe you and me, and I'm sure Haas probably felt the same way I did. We didn't know this when we were younger. We never really... You don't think too much about that on a younger side, but as you get older, especially when you get more to the adulthood side of it, then you typically see the potential repercussions that can happen when you hang out with the wrong crowd. So, if you have the ability to learn that at a young age, please do that. And, again, we say this because we've been there, so it's not like we're just guessing and playing this, close to the chest, or trying to sound smart by any means. This is, pure life experiences where, things could get dangerous, could get deadly, and things could have been different. Like I said, it could have been a lot worse for me. Now, I don't know if your case, if you had the similar things I did, but did you ever so when you were let's say.
I've been to Montpelier,
Have you?
juvenile hall.
So that, yeah. Now, why is just now? If you don't, you can have to get too personal. But why is that? Is that because of wrong decisions from a wrong crowd, or what do you attribute that to?
Just getting in trouble at school.
Oh, okay. No, not because you were hanging with people necessarily, which is bad choice, kind of. Yeah. And a lot of kids do. I knew some
wrong choice.
Yeah, usually pretty common.
But funny is the cop arrested me because all I did was hold a marker like this.
Oh.
And the cop didn't like that.
So he was...
I didn't hold it to him against him to him. I was doing it jokingly with a friend.
Right.
To a friend, and the cop saw this.
And he took it upon himself to push the issue, and yeah.
Yeah, he fucking put me in handcuffs and hauled my ass away.
Well, that brings up another good point. Talk about life experiences, and I shared with you guys the incident that happened to me a while back with some people I didn't know about that. I got arrested for that. I don't think I would have got arrested, but it goes to show that we talked about this, especially with safety too, is you don't know people nowadays in this day and age what's going to happen, and there's so many things we see it in the media and the news all the time, right? There's so many negative things that happen. Shootings galore seems to be popular every day. But because of things like that...
at my place, that shooting.
Yeah, you had it at the Wheels Bar and Grill, which has never happened to you before, so that's...
That wasn't a shooting.
I'm sorry, I tried your apartment, right, that was there. I was thinking, I mixed that up with the bar fight. You had a fight break, a couple fights.
We had a bar fight at Wheels.
Yeah, multiple.
But there was a shooting at my apartment.
Outside, yeah, that's right. But that's still...
I'm sitting there minding my own business, smoking my cigarette, chilling. Next thing you know, I hear...
Well, yeah.
I look over, I see the gun. I see the guy in the car. I took off running.
Yep. Well, and again, it's either way, same point of it is...
The only thing that slowed me down was the key fob at the door. I had to scan a key fob to get
in. Yeah. Well, at least you're close enough. Like, you weren't, in the street close by. I had to run.
It was literally, 15 feet away from me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's same purpose of... The bottom line of it is you just don't know what's going to happen. We live in such a uncertain world that, things like Hoss was saying, like your school incident where, you were probably, obviously you weren't thinking it to be malicious. It was just something like dumb you were doing with friends.
It was jokingly towards a friend.
Right. It's just something, it's just kind of just having like...
And fucking escalated the situation.
Right. And that's what
that's off to jail.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, that was a situation. It's not like you went up and threatened him to the cop. You weren't doing it to him. You were...
No.
So that was a misrepresentation of how things didn't need to get out of control, which they kind of, even in that kind of setting, was kind of out of control because your intentions were not to threaten. You were just messing around and so forth. And it unfortunately got to a point where the officer there kind of took it upon himself to really act and, made it a big deal. I've seen that happen before, too, even in cases where, and I mention that when I say school shootings because what happens...
Well, shit. A cop called my mom today from fucking Arvada.
From Nevada?
From Arvada.
Arvada. Oh, okay.
Arvada, Colorado.
Okay. For what? You can share that.
We have no idea. We haven't gotten in touch with him.
Oh, he didn't leave a message or anything. He just tried to call.
He left a message.
Just asked her to call.
He didn't answer when she called back.
And he just said something like, just call, we need you to contact us kind of thing. Like, he didn't say any details.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Again, you never...
And needless to say, my mom called me and goes, you ain't been in trouble with the police lately, have you? I'm like, no.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, this is the unfortunate part of being, like, the only son in the distance of... you're going to get asked that question, because how many people likely your mom would know that would get in trouble? You're, obviously, because of that, you're going to be first, at least to ask, so I understand that, but here's a fun... I don't know if I shared this. I may have shared this story. Hoss may not have heard this. This is actually kind of funny, and I want to share this because, again, this is situations where wrong place, wrong time, you just never know. So... naturally, you guys know I used to work security at a local retail store. So a lot of times what would happen...
not be specific.
I won't be specific, no. But a lot of times what happens is we get cases where we have to get the police involved, and then we as the detectives there, and again, this was a case I was involved in, I had to go to appear in court as a witness. I take all of our records, all of our footage, all that stuff. And so I had a court trial date. They sent paperwork to the office. I knew what my court date was. I had to go in just to be there as the witness for this individual. And so I got to the courthouse, and I was a little bit early, so I had to wait. And so I'm sitting there on a bench outside there where the judge's clerk is, the court clerk that waits there. And as I'm sitting there, I'm sitting on one side, and there's police officers on the opposite hall. There's 3 of them standing there staring at me. And they're starting to whisper to each other. I'm sitting there going, okay. Like, they're looking at me and whispering, like, all right. And I forget how it came about, but they looked again and they go, I'm like, they're staring at me. And the one cop goes, are you here for your court date? It's not my court date. I said, well, yeah, I'm here for a court case, but I'm not the suspect. I'm the witness to another crime. And the 3 cops start laughing. They go, oh, we're sitting here whispering because you look like one of the suspects that we had here in the station. Not me. I'm like, as far as I know, I haven't been arrested. Nobody told me anything. So, but like literally, like they're standing there, and I'm like, why are they standing there? They're whispering to each other, and I'm like, I feel like I should leave. But then they brought it up, and I'm like, and initially I said yes because all he said was, you're here for a court date. Well, yeah. But I'm like, wait a minute, though. Wait, like, not my court date. I'm like, no. Yeah, I'm a witness to another crime of a case. I'm not you're looking at me like I said, oh, you're the suspect. No, I'm not the suspect. No. Like, so it's kind of fun. But again, you never know, like, with certain situations, how things can, wrong place or wrong time. Now, fortunately, it was just a funny happenstance, and it wasn't anything terrible, but any other time, that could have been a misrepresentation. That could have happened. And a mistaken identity like that does happen. So the point of that is, too, again, when we talk about growing up, obviously Hoss and I grew up in different environments and things like that, too. But let's put it to a question. So let's ask some big Hoss this question, too. Is it fair to say, would you agree with me, that from what you observed from the time you were younger, like younger boy to like now, that clearly things have really changed to where things are not only just taken literal, but it's a lot worse, obviously, now than what it was being younger, right? Is that fair to say? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a pretty easy question, but for some people, maybe not. And I can say, though, like, for me especially, and I agree with Hoss for that, too, is you can see and this is life lesson, as I said, these are things I learned where, I've had incidences involved, not so much me, but like neighbor kids, and only very few times I've seen the police involved in the area, but it's not an uncommon sight nowadays. Even today, matter of fact, I was out doing some shopping today, and several cops out and about, but it is a Friday, too, so that's not totally uncommon. But, these are things...
Cops be stolen when it's Friday?
Yeah, usually they do sometimes. Now, typically, I know especially during holiday times, it's not uncommon, but for whatever reason, too, I'm like, man, there's a couple state troopers out there, a couple local cops there. I'm like, man, a living. But in retrospect, to some degree, it's always a good thing. Now, again, we're living in a smaller area, not like living in a big city. And again, I wouldn't say Hoss lives, you don't live in a big city, but there's a lot of...
I do.
Well, I was going to say big enough to where you have a lot of activity where... Do you hear, like, a lot of sirens, or is there a lot of, like, things that you hear, like, in your neighborhood there a lot of times?
Yeah, sometimes I hear sirens.
Yeah, so in that case, I would say it's fair to say that, presence there can be something of a norm for you. Now, before you lived there, and even growing up, because you didn't grow up in Colorado, right? You grew up elsewhere.
No, I grew up in Colorado.
Were you in the same location, or were you in, like, a smaller area before? Or have you always lived, like, in a bigger city type of thing?
Always lived in a bigger city.
Okay, so then you're something that pretty much almost like you could say, like, almost like a New Yorker. You're used to the noise because you've been around it since.
Yeah.
Okay, see, now for me, I'm different. I mean, I've been around some noises, like growing up, like we had the highway, I could hear traffic, but like sirens and things were not always a common. Even like the fire alarm going off, that's not a common thing. So that's something for me. And I remember when we stayed, down when we took our little guy there to possibly have surgery there. It wasn't terrible, but we were near enough to a hospital where there were ambulances like going crazy like at night. And I'm talking like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like I think I counted at least between the time I was there from like 11 o'clock on, there was at least 4 ambulances I heard in that time span going back and forth. So it was different for me because I'm not used to that. But now somebody like for Hoss like that, you could probably sleep like a baby through it because it won't bother you because you're used to noise anyway. So
Yeah.
So everybody has, that's one area I learned, and again, my life experience there too growing up it was always fairly quiet. And when you grow up in a small town, my town growing up was like a Mayberry type, if you're familiar with that reference too. Very backwoods, small town, like nothing really ever happens. I said it this way, and this is true from I've experienced this too. Usually, nothing exciting happens unless when there's like a major accident and they need to medevac someone, they need to send a helicopter to pick them up. Right where I live, there's a big baseball field. They always landed the helicopter up there. It was almost like a town-wide event because every time the chopper would come through, people would come outside and just watch it coming and going. That was the epitome of the excitement in the town. So when you're coming from that to a larger city where that's pretty much normalcy every day, it's a huge big difference, right? That's a huge contrast to what you might be used to. Again, now, and for Hoss and I, it's similar or different, but there's still, there's always that little bit of here and there for that too as well, but kind of giving the gist for that too. So, but as you can see too, a lot of things we learn pretty quickly fairly on, so it's not, things that I know for me, I sit there and think about it, and when I go back and I kind of peruse and I kind of skim through time back through my life, and I say, thinking back to, I can still vividly remember a lot of things from when I was younger too, and things that I didn't know beforehand. I'm sure you can too, right? You probably can remember a lot of things when you were younger, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can't go back too far. I start getting foggy there, but you'll kind of have those hindsight moments where if I could go back in time now and tell my younger self things I knew now, probably would help out a lot of ways. But there's hindsight's always 20/20. So, but this is kind of why we're sharing some of these things, because I know a lot of everybody out there, especially if you're younger, as I said, this is some things that you really want to take to heart as much as possible. Doesn't mean you have to listen. Doesn't mean you have to like it. It's just we're trying to help out as much as possible. That's really the reason why we share these type of things. So hopefully this will resonate with a lot of you guys, and hopefully it'll make a difference to one way or the other. So with that being said, we haven't taken one yet, and I know I need a bathroom break. I'm sure a lot of you do. If you do, please make the opportunity for this. We're going to take a short pause here. We're so glad you guys are here to kick off Friday night with us. We're always looking forward to this. It's the highlight of the week for us, so we hope it is for you all as well. Get a chance, like Big Hoss, lead by example. Go get your snacks. If you got to warm up some hot dogs, do that now. Listen, if you want to make 3-bean casserole and do that, although that takes a little while, but whatever you can whip up in the next few moments there bring for you, go for it. There's no statute limitations for what snacks you can have available. And get yourself comfortable. Get yourself a good blanket there. Kick back in a cozy chair, whatever you want to do. Try not to fall asleep. Unless you are trying to fall asleep, we'll help you do that. But otherwise, you'll miss a lot of the great entertainment still to come. Plenty more here at the What's Up Bro podcast show, brought to you by J&J Production Studios, your number one home for true entertainment, the place to be to find all things that relate to you and for you. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away. Please stay tuned. We love you guys so much. Hope you're having a good one. We'll be right back. Let us know what snacks you make. We'd be curious to hear it. Come on back. We'll see you in just a moment.
Hey audio fans, are you looking for fun and excitement? Have you been searching for that special show? You know, the one complete package you want in a podcast? Then check out the What's Up Bro podcast show and experience what true entertainment is all about. Stay tuned and don't miss the action. Available on your favorite streaming services, including YouTube. Thank you for all your support. And as always, we'll see you at the show.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
Hope you guys had a good chance to get some snacks in there and get a bathroom break, because we are back and raring to go yet again here. If you're just tuning in live, though, welcome to the show. This is the What's Up Bro podcast show, your weekend entertainment. We are here Friday and Saturday nights for you guys, sometimes on the occasional Sunday, depending on what our schedules look like, and sometimes we add an extra show here and there, depending on holidays and whatever else have you, which it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait till we have some holiday episodes coming up. I think some of our bigger ones are probably past, other than we did Easter weekend, but that really wasn't a big shebang there. We're going to have some fun summer ones. We might do some special longer episodes when we get longer into the night there, which will be kind of fun. So we're going to see. We got some projects lined up potentially there, so hopefully you guys will tune in rather for that. We'll let you guys know. We'll keep you posted as well. Be sure to follow us on social media. It's the best way to know too. We try to get updates and everything there.
Hit that like button.
Yep, if you're on, hit that like, whether you're on Facebook or like on Twitter or Instagram or Tumblr or wherever you want to follow us. If you're on YouTube listening to this, make sure you like and subscribe there. That'd be great. We appreciate you guys there. We're going to try to get some shows set up there. We're looking at the Twitch to see how that's going to work. I'm still playing with that. Not sure how that's going to work, but we'll figure that out. One extra special bonus announcement, though, for you guys. We are working in the process, as we shared. We're looking at getting some of the cover arts redesigned there so we can have some studio merchandise. And I'm working with somebody to see if that can happen. I have some estimates there for that. So we're looking at getting the logos redone and touched up. So we'll have some merchandise. If you haven't checked out the official store, check it out. There'll be plenty of stuff there for you guys. We'll keep you updated with that as well once we have an official word there. We are also trying to see about getting a small clip. We did this once before. It did not work out, but I'm trying to give this person a chance again. Great partnership with Fiverr. If you guys haven't checked it out, Fiverr is fantastic. Thank you so much to all the voice actors and creative people that are there that help us out. We might have a special ad video that we're going to try to run on Facebook that we're putting together, so all kinds of that kind of neat stuff going for you guys. Stay tuned, check that out as well, just to give you guys a little candy there, a little sweetener for you guys to check it there. If we have it, we will share it on social media for you guys. Make sure you check it out. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. But really, all the actors that we've had, the voice actors and the graphic designers we've had, everybody's been fantastic. Can't thank you guys enough. And again, of course, if you have your own project too and you're worried about copyright laws and infringement, check out Soundstripe. Soundstripe.com. This is not a sponsor, by the way. We are just throwing a shout out there because we love them so much there. Great place for royalty-free music. If you sign up, there's different packages you can purchase per month that we have a subscription that we have that works for us. You can check it out there. It allows you, if you have your own YouTube channel, just as an example, that's a primary one. We've had this issue where we've had some copyright claims there, not anything on purpose. It's because YouTube has this algorithm that runs schematics throughout the entire world and the universe that tries to find songs that are similar. So, and Haas knows, I share with him many times, how many times, especially over Christmas. I can't wait for the Christmas episodes because this year will be better because now that we have that subscription there, we can play any kind of Christmas music we can find there without any worry about, I have to go in and edit everything, which would be fantastic. But some of our regular tracks that we were using were having issues. So great opportunity there, great program. It works greatly. So whatever your project is, if you make your own YouTube videos or have a podcaster there like we do, check them out. It's awesome. And of course, if you need a good podcast home, I'm going to let Haas share this one here. What is the best podcast streaming service to use, Big Haas?
Spreaker.
Spreaker.com. Check them out. We love to be part of that family there. Very great affordable packages. As we shared, if you missed that a couple weekends ago, they just made some updates to their packages where we were concerned about some. Initially, they had packages that offered that certain levels. You get certain things, the more money you spend, the more activities you have. We have sort of it set where we want it right now. We might have one more tier we may move up in the future, but as of this point, though, because of these changes, we're actually not even worried about doing that because the biggest issue we had was storage. They allowed so much digital recording storage, which, not that we were chewing through it pretty fast, but at some point our concern was going to be what do we do if we run out of it, so it's just upgrade to the next tier. However, Spreaker made some changes not long ago, and now each package actually has no storage limit, which is awesome. It's really just a matter of what's affordable, what you need. So for instance, like there's the most expensive plan, which is the publisher plan. That's something that we would only use if things really take off and we are making this a full-time living to do that kind of deal. But anything's possible. Fingers crossed, we're hoping. Maybe not necessarily full-time, but, you know, it's still growing. We'll see what happens. But there's plenty of plans out there, whatever your needs are. So check them out. Great folks there. Great support staff, just like Fiverr and just like Soundstripe. Great technical support there. You can't go wrong, so check them out. Great shout out there, too. Again, no sponsorship there, so just so we don't get any emails or any death threats or letters written in. So this is just purely us expressing it out there to let you guys know to check that out. If we ever do get sponsored, though, we'll let you guys know. That would be awesome. So, anyway, back into the episode here. If you're just tuning in, of course, as well, we want to share with you guys. You missed the beginning part. You can go back and check this episode out. It'll be up later. We're talking about, and as the title of the episode says, time traveling through life experience. We're just kind of sharing some things. We share this quite a bit about personal experiences, but just some things that, you know, we kind of sit back and reflect. And as I said previously, too, a little bit ago, it's usually for a lot of people who get older, but you know, when you're like us, you know, well, I'm a little bit older than Haas is, but when you get to be in your mid to late 20s and in your 30s, you kind of can do this too. So I figured now's a good time and for reflection. I'm going to share one. I'm going to let Haas share one too, if you can think of one. So take a minute if you need to. Think about this. So let's go back to our childhood. So I'm saying probably somewhere between the ages of 9 to 12, okay? So take that in your mindset. You guys can do this at home with us, too, if you want to think about it. Just use this as your own chance to self-reflect. And think about maybe something that happened or something that, I don't want to say traumatic or traumatizing, something major that happened that when you think about it now, you can look back and reflect on it and really see a life lesson there.
I got one.
Perfect. Go for it. Take it away. So give us your age and everything. Give us the whole details. Let's set the stage here.
I was like 10.
10. Okay, good.
And apparently some kid tried to run over my dog with a bike.
Oh, no. Okay. Ooh, this is not going to be good.
And I pushed him off the bike.
Okay. Right.
And, well, later on he complained to the office.
Oh.
And they sent us a letter stating I could not play outside without supervision.
Wow. Huh. How long did that last?
Good month.
A month? Wow. Now, did you fight that? How did that get resolved then, so you didn't have to do that?
Well, I told them that he tried to run over my dog.
Oh, and that's what they believe. Okay, did they believe? Okay, that's okay. Well, that's man. That's horrible. First of all, because nobody should treat animals like that for starter.
No.
But in the case of just that circumstance, and now when you think about it now, because obviously that was a while ago now, because you're older. Let's just play like they always say, the devil's advocate. Is there anything that you would have done differently, wished you'd done differently?
No, I still would have pushed the motherfucker off the bike.
Except you'd be like, the only thing you probably wish was you were about your age and size now, because you'd be a lot bigger. You could probably do more stuff for that. Well, let's see. I actually I could think of two, and these are kind of fun because these were life lessons where I'll share these because they're pretty brief. So let me think of the age. I think the first one I was probably 9 years old, and growing up on my street there, I had a lot of distant cousins that lived nearby. But anyway, we had some friends that lived on the same street. A couple houses down, there was my cousin that lived right next door to us, distant cousin. And then next to him was his brother, another distant cousin. He lived in a ranch-style house, which is like a brick house, for those of you just to understand what that is. So the house next to that was about 4 houses down from my home growing up. And we used to run around, play in the neighborhood, play all over. So we were at our friend's house who lived next door to my distant cousin in the brick house. Well, we were I don't know exactly what we were playing. We were sort of roughhousing and running around. But anyway, we came up towards his garage was there. Now, the garage was here, and I'm doing this so Hoss can see this because you guys can't see me, obviously. There's like a driveway here. Then there's a little bit of a sidewalk, and there's like a side door to the garage. There's an outer door, like a screen door, and an inner door, which was like wood and more solid. The screen door, though, had a glass window in it. It wasn't. People you can change and not put a vent, like a screen in, or just put like a glass window. This had a glass one in. So my friend and I were there. We were kind of starting to wrestle. We were grabbing each other and just standing and struggling there. Well, my back is facing towards this door. Now he's a little bit shorter than me, but he's working me back. He got me back. So eventually he pushes me. I'm against this door, against the glass, and I'm pushing on the glass. He's pushing me. I can start to feel the glass moving. All of a sudden, you can hear like that classic crick. You can hear it, and he pushed me one time and cracked, like it split all the way down, like shattered, like down the door. And we're like, oh shit. Now, our other friends there, his sister and some of the girls that were with us, they all took off and ran. So I said to him, well, we're kind of standing there. Well, all of a sudden, my cousin comes out. The garage door goes up. Oh. He walks over to the door. He looks at the door. He looks at us. Very calmly, mind you. We're scared stiff. Like, I'm standing there shaking, my boots because, we're just 9 years old. I think 9 or 10 maybe, something like that. He looks at us and he's like, you're going to go home and tell your parents about this, right? Yep, my friend was going to say something. I shut him up. Nope, yep, we're going to do that right now. I told him, I said, go home, tell your parents. I went home. I knew I was afraid to, but I'm like, it's better if we tell them and not him because we're going to get in so much trouble. Now, I did get in trouble, and my parents had offered to pay for it, which we did. He said, no, as long as you told, I appreciate they told us. My friend, however, was not so lucky. I could hear his parents, at least his father, yelling down the street. Like, it was pretty bad. And I believe he got grounded for a while. I got punished, I think, for a little bit. So that was the first time. Second time, I was maybe 12 or 13, something like that. My cousin and I were playing at my grandmother's house, who lives in Empton, PA there. And the way her house is situated, her driveway here and the garage is here. There's like a road that goes up, and there's another driveway. Like the houses are like all stacked together. So we were up this driveway. I was kneeling down. We were playing baseball. We were playing catch. So I was catching. My cousin was with me. He was pitching. So I'm kneeling down in front of the garage door. Now it's a garage door that has single panel windows in it. Okay, they're probably like 8 by 10, not real big. Well, all of a sudden, one pitch, he throws a super hard fastball. It goes over my head, and it shatters through the window. Oh, dear. We took off. We ran back to the house. And we're sitting there going, like, what are we going to do? Because, obviously, damage is done. So we didn't say anything right away. Well, this gentleman comes home from work. He goes in the garage. He's there. We're kind of in the house. I can see sort of the backyard from the kitchen. We're in the kitchen. We happen to see, I said to my cousin, I'm kind of giving him the elbow, like, he's coming down the alleyway. He's coming across the backyard. I can see he's got the baseball in his hand. So I'm like, oh dear. He knocks on the door. My grandmother answers it. He comes in. He has the ball like this, and he holds it out. I said, did you fellas lose something? My grandmother gave us quite the stink eye, like that mom stare, like, you are dead meat. And I'm like, well, so yeah. And I got in trouble. The only thing I said was, which, as I got older, it's kind of a life lesson. I kind of wish I didn't say this, but I did. So my first instinct was, technically it wasn't my fault because I didn't throw the ball. I just failed to catch the ball, but in my defense, the ball was overthrown over my head. I couldn't reach it. Because I was trying to rationalize this with my mother, because my mother was grilling me about this. And she goes, really, that's like your best defense is that you didn't throw the ball. Because, you're guilt by association. But I'm like, well, the punishment can't be worse for me because I didn't throw the ball. So I should be given a lesser sentence there because, it wasn't my fault and yada yada. So it worked out. He said, again, we don't have to pay for it, but be more mindful. And we got grounded. I feel like I got grounded for a little bit there. I don't remember exactly. So, but I think about those experiences. That's just because, now in the moment, and probably in Haas's case, your case too, with, at least the events that happen after the bite when you push the kid off the bike and obviously getting somewhat in trouble for it. It's not funny in the moment, right? Because you're, it's more upsetting than anything else. But when you reflect on it and you look at it now, later on, you can kind of go back and laugh, which is what I do. And there's several others I could share too. But, the point of this is too, ultimately is take your life experiences too and make sure that you recognize, and you guys won't, again, especially if you're a younger listener, I'm saying this as if I was saying this to my younger self because this is the advice I really could have used. You're not going to recognize this at a young age. It's just not going to happen. Unless you're a super genius and super smart, you're going to have to experience this sometimes the hard way. But take your lumps and appreciate them and really learn from them. My big mantra, my big saying I always like to share is, don't be afraid of failure because you always learn something. Whether that's a test, whether that's a job, whatever it is, as long as you learn something from failure, there's always something to gain. You won't fail ultimately, right? So take these life experiences, take these lessons, and apply them to you and learn from them. And one day, not today, maybe not tomorrow either, you'll realize how they helped shape you. Because now, let's ask this question too, then we're going to take one final quick break because we're going to wrap up soon. We're going to try to keep things as close to the hour as possible. So let's ask this question now. So Big Hoss, I know this is just one example, but from that life lesson, would you say that you grew from that, or at least you learned something now as you've gotten older? Can you reflect on that, saying at least it taught you something, right?
Yeah.
Number one rule, obviously, too, is you did stick up for the pet. That's a good thing. So that's sticking up for... So you didn't do it to be malicious. You weren't trying to just hurt somebody on purpose.
No.
It was more about protecting because he was trying to be mean to your dog. So there's a life lesson there. So again, a lot of times if it's something like for me too, I learned that, in both instances involve broken windows, ironically, as I realize that now. But in both cases, not so much the second instance, but the first one, coming clean about it and talking about it right away. And because both cases, I could have been in trouble, like I have to pay for that window because windows are not cheap to replace either. But the lesson was owning up to that mistake and realizing that it shouldn't happen. And we didn't do anything like that. We were careful from then on out. Could have been worse even if I denied it. Now, I kind of sort of did that in the second instance, but, eventually it came all out. But that's really the big lesson I learned, too. So that's the perfect example there, you guys, too, to think about that. And pause on that. We're going to pause here again briefly because we want to get one more quick break in before we wrap up with our final thoughts for the night. So pause and reflect on that. Think about your own moments. Think about those moments a lot of you may have had, especially you're older too, and maybe you've been through it. Maybe you've been through more than we have. And again, there's so many more we probably could share, but these are just some perfect examples to give you guys the idea there. And of course, you can use your own for sure. That's what we want you guys to do. But really think about it and really just contemplate and dwell on that and think to yourself, how did this shape me? And how did this affect me? And how am I a better person for it? Or maybe I'm not. I don't know. And that's everybody's own cup of tea, depending on your own walks of life. But let's take a moment and think about that. I want to pause here for our final break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to get ready to wrap things up because we are just about at our hour there, too, and I want to make sure that we keep to that as much as possible. We will be back, though, tomorrow night for sure. We might go a little bit longer if we play some games. We'll see how that goes, but at least for tonight, anyway, we want to stay on top with that. So take a moment, contemplate. We'll do that as well. We'll pause here, a couple more tracks for you guys there, and then we'll come back and get ready to wrap up with some final thoughts. And hopefully this will help you guys learn even further and experience and at least give you some food for thought to process that too. That's really the biggest thing we can say too. So hopefully this will help you guys all out there as well. Stay tuned for more, though. Don't go away. We're not finished just yet. Just a little bit left to go for the evening. Hope this is a great way for you guys to relax and kick back after a long week. Of course, we all need those moments to just really relax. And again, if this helps you fall asleep, more the merrier. That's fine. We're here to serve any way we possibly can. So if it meets your needs, that's what we're here for. We couldn't be more thrilled. Stick around. Stay tuned for more until we come back there. Again, keep those thoughts going. Write them down if you need to. Keep a journal. Keep a log. Whatever works for you guys. Use them. Don't lose them. Most important. We'll see you guys in just a moment for more. Stay tuned.
Are you enjoying the show? Do you want even more great content? Then check out the What's Up Bro podcast show's link tree for all studio accounts, including the official show website, brought to you by J&J Production Studios. Catch all your favorite episodes of the show when they're uploaded. Curious to know who makes the show possible? Meet the cast and crew. Discover the magic behind the microphone, not just in front with our staff bios. Want to chat with other audience fans? Enter the forums section. Talk, engage, and interact with listeners from all over the globe. Not on social media and want the latest information? Then subscribe to the podcast newsletter and get everything delivered straight to your inbox. No matter what, you'll always stay connected. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
Welcome back, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed those tracks there. Of course, it's always good to have some good music to put you in a good mood. This is the What's Up Bro podcast show. I'm Sam Crow here with Big Hoss. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the show. We're getting ready to wrap up here, though, but fear not, you can catch the episode if you want to listen to it from the beginning. It'll be up and available soon. We just want to share some final thoughts there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Hoss do that first, and then if Hoss wants to give his sign-off, we'll do that as well. So we'll pose this to him there, and then we'll wrap it up there, too, just to keep us even-keeled tonight. Make sure, again, too, you do tune in tomorrow night. We're planning to play some more games in the Game Corner, so hopefully you guys will play with us, or at least listen to us. And if you want to play your own game, put us on in the background, and we'll have a whole night of it. So there you go. So, keep tab for that, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course, as our normal time. Hope to see you guys there. We're looking forward to that. So, before you give your sign-off there, Big Hoss, and let's pose this way. So, just based on the information that we shared, now you're sharing this to the listeners here, so what is it that you hope that either these experiences that you're sharing, or what is it that you want some people to take from this, or what is it that you hope the goal is that they will get from these experiences, like we share this kind of stuff?
I have no idea.
Well, you're hoping, obviously, it's going to help people, right? Because the whole point is to share so that, and for people to learn, too, right? To grow, because obviously that's... Yeah. So, and now... let's put it this way. So let's say if you could go back in time now, as old as you are now, and talk to your younger self there, is there something you would tell yourself from the experiences that you learned between, say, the ages of 10 to where you are in your 20s now? What would something you would tell yourself if you could change anything you want to counsel yourself on? I know it's a hard question.
Don't make stupid decisions.
Think a little bit more clearly, right? Yeah, again, I didn't have too many myself, but I can share similarities with that because that's a lot of cases that could have gone awry in a lot of different ways as well. So that's a good one there, too. So, but again, we hope you guys learned a lot of this stuff. Hopefully it's helpful for you all because, again, that's why we're sharing that, just to be informational and help you guys get some good insight and some feedback. And it's just our own personal experiences. Doesn't mean that it's going to be the same for you guys or even remotely close, but we're just sharing as much knowledge that we have that we can to help you guys at least down some of those pathways that are difficult. So that's always our hope for that. So take it and do with it what you will. Again, it's just there for your education and to help make you guys better. So hopefully that did that tonight. And we're glad you guys could spend time with us tonight. So we look forward to tomorrow night. We'll play some games there. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see you guys at that point. So as we sign off here tonight, I'm going to throw it to Big Hoss so he can say goodnight to you guys. And please make sure you give them our publicly prophesied message that we always share. So give a goodnight to the folks.
Don't drink or drive, and good night, everybody.
Yep, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Make sure you join us in the Game Corner. That's Big Hoss, and I'm Sam Crow. We're so glad you guys could join us for the evening. Looking forward to tomorrow night, as always. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. You never know what's going to happen. It's always an adventure. And again, 2023 is our big year. We're working on it. We're coming almost, believe it or not, we're only a couple months away from the halfway marker, which is incredible. But we're looking forward to some great things yet to come. Thank you guys so much. We love and appreciate you all so much. Be sure to share this around. If you have friends that might like the show too, let them know. We'd love to have more of the merrier here. So until then, until tomorrow night, we say goodbye only for now. Until next time, of course, and now, as always, we will see you guys again soon, next time at the show. Good night.
Thank you for listening to the What's Up Bro show. Catch all the latest live action on your favorite podcast streaming services, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also check out episodes on the studio's official YouTube channel. Subscribe and become a member today. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so you'll know when new content is uploaded. Stay tuned and don't miss a single moment. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, we will see you at the show.